This is the Union Jack, the flag of the United Kingdom. But that's not its official name, because it doesn't have one. In fact, the Union Jack is only the flag of the UK by tradition and convention, and not by any law. But who and what, exactly, are represented on the flag? Well, the answer to that question requires we take a look at some history, as the Union Jack incorporates elements from all four of the constituent countries of the UK. You see, in the year 1707, the kingdoms of England and Scotland united into one kingdom of Great Britain. When they did so, they combined their flags to make this, the first Union Jack. Then, about a century later or so, Ireland joined with Great Britain to form the United Kingdom. When this happened, St. Patrick's saltire was added to the flag, and we got the modern Union Jack. But hang on a minute, Super Easy History, you say. You just said that the Union Jack incorporates elements from all four of the constituent countries of the UK. But you only listed 3 countries that contributed to the flag. Well, to you, observant viewer, I say yes, there are 4 member states of the UK. Most of Ireland did leave in 1922, but the North remains a part of the Union. Then there's Scotland and England, who both maintain pretty much the same borders as they did when they first united into Great Britain. And finally, there is Wales, the most overlooked of the 4 countries, and the one that I didn't mention earlier, but still is, in an albeit roundabout way, represented on the UK's flag. But before we dive into that, if you're new here and like what you see, don't forget to go down below and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to make sure you catch all future episodes of Super Easy History. Right then, Wales, and why it is or isn't on the Union Jack. Well, Wales is sort of represented on the Union Jack, because for a very long time, a period of about 700 years, all of Wales was a part of England, and so when Great Britain and the UK were created, Wales was represented by England's flag. So then, let's take a look at that flag, St. George's Cross. St. George was a Roman soldier of Greek descent who was martyred in the 4th century for his refusal to recant his Christian faith. Interestingly though, this flag would never have been associated with him during his lifetime, as he lived in a time long before the standardization of European heraldry in the mid-12th century. According to some legends, St. George's Cross was brought to England by King Richard the Lionheart, who learnt of it in Genoa during the Third Crusade. The Genoese themselves had taken the cross as their flag as early as the 10th century, but at this point it may or may not have had a strong association with St. George. Slightly more reliable sources put the flag's introduction to England well over 100 years later, during the reign of King Edward I, when his soldiers wore it to distinguish themselves from the soldiers of some of his rebelling barons. The flag was definitely in use in England by the year 1348 at the latest, though, because it was in that year that Edward III made St. George the patron saint of his Order of Knights, the most noble order of the Garter, which uses the cross in its coat of arms. So, that's how St. George's Cross became the flag of the Kingdom of England, including Wales. But nowadays, Wales is a separate country from England, so what flag do they use? And is a part of it hidden somewhere on the Union Jack? Well, today the Welsh use this flag. Known as the Red Dragon, or this, in Welsh, you'll notice it looks a bit out of place when compared to many other flags in the British Isles, which are generally the flags of saints. Wales, though, despite having a patron saint, St. David, who does have a cross, went in a little bit of a different direction when they adopted their official flag in 1959. The most striking part of the flag, the dragon passant, comes from the 5th century king of Gwynedd, Cadwaladr, who in Welsh legend gave up his throne after receiving a prophecy that told him if he did so, Wales would be liberated from the English. The green and white field of the flag comes from the colours of the House of Tudor, which claimed Welsh descent. The Tudors ruled England and Wales from 1485 to 1603, and are famous for the likes of Henry VIII and Elizabeth I. The Tudors even flew a version of the Red Dragon during the War of the Roses, and included it on their coat of arms after acquiring the throne to emphasize their Welsh heritage. So then why isn't there a great big red dragon in the middle of the Union Jack? Or at least a hint of green somewhere to show that Wales is a member of the Union? Well, because, frankly, No one's made a big enough fuss about it for someone to bother to put it there.